Okay, so this is just a daily rambling recording. I just got out of the bathtub. I've had a nice morning. Woke up grumpy. Woke up with a stomach that was upset, and I woke up late. I did my regular routine. My routine nowadays looks a lot like waking up and taking my vitamins, feeding Kay a bottle. Depending on what type of bottle I make her, I can get away with giving it to her with a blanket and being able to walk away. Sometimes I give her a cereal bottle. Usually the cereal bottle is, I'm rambling. Can't walk away with a cereal bottle. And I either put worship music on. And read a devotional, or I find like a devotional to follow. I do really like Transformation Church. A lot of Mike Todd, I like him because of the way he speaks. I don't know, if you speak gangsta to me, I tend to listen. That's probably from my past habits, but the way he words things and the way his mind works is really good. So if you are wanting development, even like mindset, for me, I would say the religion and spiritual stuff is a lot of mindset work. I have attempted to do mindset work without God attached, and it has always been really, really dark and scary. That's just that body language right there. That's the feeling I get when I do it like that. I can learn and change habits and routines, but the whole world just tends to be a lot of without God attached. In my journey, he's extremely important. My relationship with him is extremely important. But where was I going? I had just recorded a thing in the bathtub. It wasn't like you didn't see anything inappropriate, but I knew I had words I needed to say, and then I was getting to the end of that. So basically picking up where that left off is a bunch of, I feel like you have to go through the seasons and experiences and repetition of things happening in ways you don't enjoy before enough's enough and you want to change your habits. And then once you learn that you want to change, you realize you can't change where you are. You realize that the people in your life like you the way you are. Most of the people, before you start doing self-development and paying attention to your higher self, to the person that can handle it all, the people in your life take, from my experience of my personal experience and a lot of what I've witnessed, is you're surrounded by people who take. And if you're going from a place of constantly giving to people who don't give back and just take, to now you've said yes to becoming somebody who is actively asking people, how can I help? Like your literal intent is to help. So you're basically not changing your requirements of yourself at all. You're still giving. But how do you give as a leader? How do you give and be so strong that you're capable of giving that much without having yourself become empty? Usually that ends up being you've started working on your standards and boundaries, and now you've hit resistance because the people in your life can't respect them, and that makes you feel real dirty and real frustrated and hopeless. And then you get to the point where you're like, these people need to go. They're holding me back. Like right now, I am changing everything. But I was reflecting about the last time I had to leave everything behind and the experience of that. And I had nobody. I had fully embraced one human and cut everybody else out of my life in order to nurture that relationship. And then years went by. And then everybody was right, and I was completely alone. How do you get out of that? You have to get humbled, and you have to reach out. And I think last time, I mean, I did. I got humble and I reached out. But I still did everything alone, and I wasn't doing my self-development. I wasn't aware that I could forgive myself for everything that I had done. I wasn't actively looking backwards with gratitude. Like, even the me from yesterday, she had a terrible headache. She battled having a bad day all day long. Like, look, I don't even look like I'm feeling great today, because I'm not. I'm not feeling great, but it's important to say this. It'll probably get posted on YouTube, because I put all my rants on YouTube, because you'd be surprised at who messages me and says thank you for posting that. Thank you for sharing that. I needed that. That's exactly what I'm going through. Like, these are the things that we don't share until we've created our own community where we feel safe to share. Because when you're healing, you heal others. If you have the balls to get out there and share your healing, you will heal others. It's a guaranteed thing. Where am I going? I'm losing everything. I'm moving back in with my mother. I have a 6-month-old daughter. I'm 28. I was one of those people who didn't think that I'd make it past 23. I figured I'd be dead. Especially after having 4 miscarriages before 21. At 23, I was full-blown. I was putting anything and everything into my body that could change my state of mind quickly. That's what I was doing at 23. Everybody gets to their point where they're like, enough's enough. For me, it was becoming a mom and seeing the way I talk to myself, and then looking at her, you know, going back and forth, thinking, dreaming of her future, and then speaking to myself in my mind. And that was my enough's enough moment. You know, like, if I keep going on like this, my self-hatred is going to pour off into my daughter, and then she's going to grow up feeling that self-hatred, and then she's going to have the same future as I did. And it's not to sound rude to anybody, I love my mom dearly, but that's exactly what my experience has been in life. Tit for tat, my mother's experience. Minus some big details, but I didn't get married and go in the Navy, but I did my things and had my seasons and storms and handled them the exact same way that my mother handled them when I was growing up, because that's what I saw. Everything about changing your habits and routines is breaking those cycles. And I have started breaking those cycles, and it's exhausting. And having a community behind you is important. Reaching out is important. For me, having faith is important, because my anxiety is through the roof, and being able to give it to God and trust in God, trust in something. Especially when I'm at a point where I can't trust myself. I feel like I should, and there are times that I do, but there are a lot of weak moments where I don't. And that's just because everything is changing. And I'll get into days and days of just going so hard that I physically exhaust myself and I don't slow down. And most of the time when I do that, if I reflect, it's because I know there's something that if I slow down, I have to pay attention to it. And I have to pull a couple band-aids off that I've slapped on in the first 28 years. I have to feel some stuff and let go. Say thank you and let go. Say I'm sorry, but thank you and let go. You know. And sometimes you just don't want to do that, but putting it off is a waste of time. But especially when you start breaking cycles and then you slip up and you repeat a cycle, it's exhausting. But just always give yourself grace, guys. Nobody's perfect. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not meant to do this alone. We're human beings. We're built for social settings and community. The part that had came to my mind after rewatching my bathtub rant this morning was, I mentor people, you know, we all said yes. We all hit the become a promoter button. We took that leap of faith. Now, why aren't we taking the leap of faith day in and day out on ourselves now? You know, there's so many different leaps of faith we have to take day in and day out on ourselves in order to to break the cycles and heal and become the woman that can handle it. I mean, what are our business, it all ties together. What are your business goals? I want to have a 200K team in 3 to 5 years. I imagine myself waking up somewhere not in Michigan, not in the Midwest. I want some mountains or an ocean, you know. I don't want cornfields. I want some moving water or some fresh snow up on a mountaintop, something like that, you know, some nature. Nature makes me very happy. What does my day look like? There's definitely a sunroom or all season room that I eat my breakfast and do devotionals. There's a car for all the kids, not even just my kids, just all the kids, because I have a safe home. I mentor people still to this day. Even as a 200K leader, I still spend a lot of my time mentoring because that makes me happy. Whether I'm mentoring customers or people, or I don't know, maybe in 3 to 5 years I have a podcast or a YouTube channel. Like, why not? Are we scared of actually, like, taking those standards and limitations out of our mind and getting in dream mode? Are we? I know I am. Saying it out loud makes me want to cry. That's how close it is to my heart. That's how fresh it is, my dreams. That I can't just list my dreams off without getting emotional because they're so new. Because 2 months ago, I mean, I did start dreaming a little bit, but before I become a promoter, dreams were impossible. I was in survival mode, and it really is living in survival and reacting out of survival versus living with imagination, like anointed imagination and acting out of anointed imagination. There's a shift, there's an energy shift, and you have to heal quite a bit. Somebody called me and then it did the thing with the stuff. You have to heal yourself quite a bit to get from survival mode to anointed imagination or a place of grace. And there's a lot of times that you get there and then something smacks you in the face and you're 17 million steps back, it feels like. But I would say community, because day in and day out, you never know what somebody's going to say that you need to hear. Community is so important. Not getting stuck in your own ways. Like, you can build your own little bubble over here. I mean, you're working from home on your phone. You're not physically around anybody. So you can make a bubble and you could try to build it up the way you know with the habits you have. You might get a good month of sales. You might hit a bonus or get your target. But when you go to repeat that process all over again in the next month, it's going to suck. And it's going to be unachievable. That's where changing the habits comes into the business intent side of things. It's just, we aren't here. Why did we hit yes? We saw women dreaming. We saw a community of support and positivity. We saw people showing up and healing each other. Now we're here. Are we doing our self-development so that we can become that person and inspire those people? Because we're not going to get promoters. Those paychecks aren't going to change until our mindset changes. That's the sweetest way I could put that. If you need a little bit more red, hop in my inbox. And I'll say it in a meaner way. I don't know, red gets to me, especially when I'm going through the thick of it and my emotions are high. If you try to speak to me with a soft tone and say, well, this, and this, I feel like this, I'll be like, I'll go llama and I'll be like, get out of my face, and I'll spit on you. Like, I still have a lot of gangster, so sometimes you need a little bit of red. Maybe later on today my patience will get thinner and I'll record a little red video. But the most loving way I could say this is community is important. Forgiving yourself is important. Giving yourself grace and time and patience. You do not control the seasons. You can control a lot of things. You can control how much energy you put into the business, how many conversations you have. But what if you're having those conversations and you don't have the genuine, you're not capable of adding value? when you're approaching people and commenting and doing your one-on-ones and your conversations and stuff? Or what vibes are you getting off? Like, are you adding value, or is that comment either it'll just be a positive comment that means nothing because there was no intent behind it, so they're going to say, they're going to read, oh, praying for your family, but if you didn't mean it, they're not going to feel that. They're going to be like, oh, great, another person just saying they're going to pray. You don't know what's going on in their life either. So if you can come with a full cup, we have to fill our cups every morning. We said yes to becoming a promoter and leading and adding value to people's lives. So we have to have a full cup, and we got to fill it every single morning. And you'll find a way to fill your cup. And if you don't know how to fill your cup, and it will change, I'm sure the way I fill my cup right now, give me 6 months, they'll be completely different. Maybe I don't wake up and put worship music on right away. Maybe I do a journal or record my dreams and then do it. Like, you don't know. Like, you never know. But you can trust, and you can try. Maybe you're focusing on your paycheck and you see that my paycheck this last week was negative $9 because I had an auto ship accidentally run. My customer was extremely understanding. I did remind them before the deadline and they forgot. But anyways, I had an auto ship run and we returned it. So they took the commission back from that. So negative $9. But if I'm really sitting here humble as hell thinking about it, I'm losing everything right now. I'm moving back into my mom's. My mindset is reflective of that, you guys. It is a constant battle to stay positive up in this biatch. Whoa, buddy. I mean, my stress levels are so high, I'm fighting seizure migraines. So give yourself grace when you're going through something. If you find yourself in a situation, I'm getting reflective of last time I had to leave everything behind. Dude whooped my butt. I had nobody there. I was completely alone. This time, I'm in control of when I move out, calling my family to help me pack. It's totally different. And the energies are totally different. Like, yes, I'm closing a chapter, and I'm going to rebuild with the purpose and intent that will keep it together and be stable instead of building upon another human being, attaching myself to some other human, and then trying to build. I build beautifully. It's a great life. So when it crumbles, it freaking hurts. But wouldn't it be great if I could build that with a vision and purpose that won't crumble, that isn't attached to another human being? Even if I do get married while I'm building, I guarantee you that what I build will be resilient through everything, whatever happens. And I hope what I build blossoms into something that becomes like part of somebody else's structure, a community. You know what I mean? Those are my dreams. So give yourself some grace. And be grateful for the things that you do have. Like, any other person could wake up, and I could wake up and just think about everything and just roll right back over into a fucking blanket burrito and do all that. Or I could continue to work on myself, be grateful for what I have, and add value to the world while I'm going through the thick of it. What you put out there is what you get back, guys. Even if you're not selling things, you can be adding value to people's lives just by having a full cup and feeling amazing, and then going online and leaving positive comments on people's pages. Like, hey, for some reason, I just felt the need to leave this comment and say, I'm proud of you. I don't know what you're going through right now, but that little comment right there, it could totally change somebody's entire week. You never know. But if you don't have a full cup, now I'm going in circles. So I'm going to end it. Okay, bye.